So it looks like the Clippers are trying to keep Ty Lue. And, based upon the coaches that's out there, Ty Lue is probably a good choice to keep, not unless they're going to get somebody like Nick Nurse. And the reason why I say Nick Nurse, because he's won a championship too, and the fact he's won a championship with Kawhi Leonard on Toronto Raptors along with Norman Powell, they definitely get along. They definitely understand each other from a championship standpoint. So unless they got a coach like that, really there's no need to go away from Ty Lue. And, him going to the Phoenix Suns would just be a big dramatic type situation. The media would definitely have a lot of fun with that. And I definitely don't think the Clippers should allow that. They definitely should try to at least run the team back the way they have it. And hopefully, Kawhi and PG stay healthy this time. If they don't, then of course, you make your alternative moves next summer. And then honestly, after next season, Kawhi and PG might walk themselves. You won't even have to walk them out the door. So if the operation doesn't work and result in a championship. Now, my thing is with the whole situation, I think Ty Lue, there was reports about Ty Lue a couple weeks before the end of the season that there might not be a return with Ty Lue on the Clippers. And there was reports that he might actually go to the Lakers. And, that would be just a tragic thing for Clippers fans, because a lot of Clippers fans like Ty Lue. They like the way he coaches, and they like the way, he responds and talks to the media and how he approaches his business on a day-to-day basis. And the way he actually helped carry this team and keep them together when their superstars are out. He's probably the best coach for the job. I don't know if a lot of coaches can, subdue or go through not having their star players and still keep a team afloat and still help them make the play-in tournament. And on top of that, almost had a chance to make the playoffs if Paul George didn't get COVID that time, which, he couldn't help that. And Kawhi was out due to injury. But this is my thing. It's always a setback or a holdback with the Clippers. And it can't be like that for the rest of, the time if this team really wants to win a championship. And as I said before, I think they're going to run it back at least one more year, because Steve Ballmer has to have superstars going into his new building. He can't have that new building have a grand opening and no superstars are put in it except a bunch of young guys and a bunch of guys who are just other guys on a team that can help a championship team, but they need the superstars to do it, so it's like one of those things where they're kind of stuck in a situation. They may feel like they want to let Kawhi and PG go, or feel like they want to trade them away, but the resources are not there in regards to other opportunities. And on top of that, it's going to be hard to do that because there's not much talent left out there. Now, of course, you'll hear names like Damian Lillard or other names, stuff like that, but for the most part, you got to try to keep this thing together, because you built this and you got to try to see it all the way through and just hope that Kawhi and PG stay healthy. But I will say this, it's been unfair to Ty Lue to coach this team without his superstars and having one without the other and all this other stuff. Because really it definitely lessens their chances of winning championships, as we saw this year and as we'll see next year and years to come, if this team stays together and they keep getting unhealthy at the unopportune time. And hopefully, you just hope as Clippers fans that you see better days. You hear Paul George say a couple weeks ago, he apologized to the Clippers fans for not being there along with him and Kawhi. But he also did say they don't sit out games for no reason. Kawhi definitely doesn't sit out games for no reason. He has knee problems. He's hurt. He's injured. He can't go. And that's the only reason why. Because other than that, Kawhi wants to hoop. Kawhi wants the ball. He wants to go out there and be the best he can be. So does Paul George. So, a lot of people got to understand the media is going to throw a lot of things your way. They're going to throw a lot of negativity. And you can't really be subjective to it. You really got to just hear it and let it go one ear and out the other. And that's something I think that Ty Lue has done as a coach. And I know he really believes in Kawhi and PG, because he knows their talent, especially Kawhi. He knows what Kawhi can do. He's seen it just like we have. Kawhi could put a team on his back and go all the way to the promised land and win a championship. We've seen him do that. Now, I'm not saying he could do that now, not just because of injury. I really feel like he can't do it now because teams are just trying to, load up. And like I said, the Phoenix Suns, if they keep the same team, you're going to have to deal with those big three if you got to face them in a 7-game series again. So, it's a lot to ask one man to carry a team now. It's just the times of one man carrying a team is pretty much out the window. Kawhi was the last to do it in 2019. But I will say, if any one guy can carry a team to a championship, Kawhi Leonard's that guy if he can stay healthy. But regardless of that, Ty Lue had unfair situation, not having his superstars with him the whole time and not having that type of, superstar power going against superior teams where they don't have a chance. And Ty Lue just makes the best of it as much as he can. Same way we saw him do in the Clippers and Suns series. He did the best he could, and having Westbrook out there being the featured guy. But Westbrook is just not like that. And it's the reason why I said the Clippers need to cut bait with Russell Westbrook, get off his contract, and maybe go on with somebody else. Because like I said, if that's your point guard to try to win a championship, they're not going to. Or I'll say this, it'll be very, 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 very times 20 difficult for them to win a championship with Russell Westbrook, because no other superstar, no other team has. And that's just the bottom line. You could say what you want. You could say he played good. You could say he played magnificent. But playing well and playing that magnificent doesn't mean you win championships. And that's just the way it is. That's just for the moment in time of what that person did. It has to be consistent. It has to be of longevity to go all the way through the playoffs from round to round to get to the point where you can win a championship. So with that being said, like I said, I know Ty Lue really wants to come back to this team. I feel like he does. He has the chemistry with this team. He likes a lot of the players. He likes all the players, I believe. And he likes what he has in regards to their depth. Now, hopefully they keep a lot of their depth, and hopefully they extend, the extension for Kawhi and PG to keep them there as well. And hopefully they do extend, Ty Lue's contract, because Ty Lue is probably about the best coach they can get. As I said before, unless they can find a way to pull off somebody like Nick Nurse or somebody like that, maybe then I would, I would negotiate that. But because Nick Nurse has won a championship as well, and he knows what it takes to put a team together. And one thing about Nick Nurse, he's good at making adjustments. And I honestly think he's a little bit better at making adjustments than Ty Lue is. But even still, Ty Lue is good enough to make adjustments when needed if he has his toys to play with, which is his superstars. And hopefully, we got to really, really hope times 10 that Kawhi and PG are able to do that this upcoming season, because I do believe they might actually try to run it back unless one of those players decide to walk, and or other players, they might lose some of their depth, but hopefully they get some good depth back in return if they do, due to contracts and stuff. But I definitely think the Clippers want to keep Ty Lue, and I know that Ty Lue wants to be there, and I definitely believe the Clippers want him there. So don't be surprised to see them extend his contract and keep him as the Clippers head coach instead of seeing him go to the Phoenix Suns or the Milwaukee Bucks, because that would just be no good, for Clippers Nation, not unless they're going to get a coach back of the caliber of Ty Lue or better, which is going to be hard to do. But at the same time, it's definitely doable. But of course, they definitely want Ty Lue back because he's helped build a culture and a chemistry here, and hopefully they can have their superstars on the floor. And if they have that with Ty Lue and with that depth that they have, they can do a lot of good things. But health is the biggest thing, and keeping everybody aboard is the biggest thing at this point. So let's see if the Clippers do it, and let's see how they approach next season.